Same bed, but it feels just a little bit bigger now. Our song on the radio, but it don't sound the same. When our friends talk about you, all it does is just tear me down. Cause my heart beats new when I hear your name, and it just sounds like you. Wait. No, wait, this is recording, bro. Okay. Hi guys, this is my ideal entrepreneur project by Manis Losinghani. Let's get to it. I'm going to be as fast, as concise as possible, as I have 30 slides, which is also the reason why I was late. So please take that into consideration. I don't know if I'll be able to get under 15 minutes. I have 30 slides, but I'll be as fast as possible. Table of contents. So these are the people that I think have the ideal traits that would make me a successful entrepreneur. And then here is me beside my Porsche Spider. That is actually not my Porsche, but in the future it's gonna be if I take these traits and adapt myself and use them. So curiosity, Elon Musk. Willingness to experiment is Malala Yousafzai. Adaptability is Jack Ma. Decisiveness is Ray Kroc. Self-awareness is Indra Nooyi. Risk tolerance is Andrew Tate. Comfort with failure is Ferruccio Lamborghini. Persistence is Thomas Edison. Innovative thinking is Steve Jobs. And long-term focus is Warren Buffett. So first to get it, curiosity is Elon Musk. So a little about Elon Musk. Elon Musk was born in South Africa in 1971, June 28th, studied physics and economics at the University of Pennsylvania, and owner of Zip2, PayPal, SpaceX, X, Tesla, and Neuralink. So for these introductions, we won't be able to, or even just at all, I'm not going to be able to talk about each company and into specific details. I'm just going to try to focus as much about the trait itself, and yeah, because we need to get this done as quick as possible. So a little about Elon Musk. He has shown a curiosity-driven mindset since university, as he was not just pursuing physics, he was also pursuing economics. So the fact that he's pursuing two majors shows a lot, and this is probably the reason why he's super successful. He uses physics and his science brain to create really good products, and then uses economics brain to create a very well-established company. So as a kid, he had wide range in things he excelled at and things he was interested in. So some of these things are space exploration to renewable energy. And then we saw this when he experimented with Tesla, as he created a new genre of cars, of electric cars. And it was a huge genre that worked out really well for him, and made him a billionaire. I think he's either first or second richest people right now. I think he's first. He usually bounces around top 3. And then also he was surrounded with failure due to his curiosity, and he didn't let that get to him. He just used that to fuel his curiosity even more. He used those failures as okay, how can I use them to adapt? So he could be good. Honestly, Elon Musk could come into almost all of these traits, which is why he is the top 3 richest people in the world. But I feel like curiosity is a big one, once again, I told you 5-6 companies he had, as he's a very curious person, and he experiments in multiple industries. Obviously, not everything goes his way, and he does have failures. An example would be the Mars Colonial Transporter. So how does this relate to me? So I can use these examples, and as this teaches me to use my curiosity as a learning curve rather than an excuse. What Elon Musk did. Tesla almost I think they're bankrupt so many times. He just kept going. He kept using his brain. He kept being more curious how he can use his curiosity to his benefit. And yeah, so he uses curiosity as a learning curve rather than an excuse. It's if I'm stuck on a problem and I'm really wondering about that problem, rather than okay, I don't understand this, he really dives into that thing, and if he's curious about it, he really learns the problem, and he just creates a solution for it, which is why he's super successful. So my second person is Malala Yousafzai, and her trait is willingness to experiment. So a little about Malala. She was born in Pakistan during July 12th in 1997, and she's an activist for women's education. And at the age of 17, she became the youngest ever Nobel Prize laureate. So yeah, let's get into it. So as a young kid, she blogged about her life as a Pakistani woman under Taliban from a young age, which taught her how to experiment a lot. And she really wanted to like convey her messages, and she needed to experiment to find out which ways would work the best for her. She also took very unconventional approaches as a very young girl, as she spoke out as a very young girl rather than just letting herself get oppressed. She stood out and she experimented and she activisted. She publicly spoke worldwide, and she also established the Malala Foundation. Due to her experimentation, she found out this foundation would be very good, and she uses all her knowledge to and her public speaking to get people to donate money, which she uses for education, to promote the cause of education for every girl. This teaches me to be a man of my word and not just think things. If I see oppression happening, if I see Israel oppressing Palestine, I'll speak up for it, or any other thing. Or if I'm at a workplace, I see my boss or a person of higher up being a very bad person, maybe like abusing a girl, or, I'll speak up for it and not just think things, Adaptability is Jack Ma. This one is very, I was really interested to learn this, So he was born in China during September 10th. My boy Jack was born in 1964. He was an English teacher at first, and then he was also rejected from KFC. And now he's the owner of Alibaba and AliExpress, and he is a billionaire. So he's very adaptable, as he went from a teacher to an entrepreneur. He had many early failures. Like, he literally got rejected from KFC, okay, a fast food place. Many times he had to climbing up the ladder of Alibaba, failed many times, and once he finally became CEO, he adapted Alibaba's business model from being a marketplace which connects Chinese sellers to Western buyer to China's biggest e-commerce platform. I can use this as a sign to not take my failures as a loss, but rather a chance to adapt and improve. Next up is my boy Ray Kroc. So Ray Kroc lived from 1902 to 1984 in America. He acquired and expanded McDonald's, and he is a pioneer of he's known and seen as a pioneer of the fast food industry. So he had an early career in sales, which means he had to be very decisive. If you know anything about sales, you need to know which cars to promote, which sale prices to promote, what percentages to promote. You gotta be able to know people very well and use that to your advantage. If you know someone's more gullible, you can try to gull them and make a profit, And as bad as that sounds, that's business. That's capitalism for you. Okay. So, and he also made very drastic and decisive move of purchasing McDonald's, which was very good for him. And he implemented a standardized model for all franchises. So this teaches me to just, sometimes we're stuck between two things and we spend more time thinking when we could have tried both outcomes, And it is really, like for me, at the start of this presentation, I was stuck on who I'm going to do for willingness to experiment. Instead of thinking, I could have done the other 9 things, right? I'm just thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. Like, I had 3 or 4 options. I should have chose one, or at least I should have done the other one, and then I could have worried about the last one, right? So instead of just thinking, do. Next up is self-awareness and Indra Nooyi. She's an Indian American. She's born in 1955. She's highly educated, She went to Madras Christian College, which is in India, I believe, and she studied physics, math, and I'm pretty sure a couple other things there. So she's obviously very well educated, and she also went to Yale University for marketing, I think, or management. I think for management, yeah. So what I believe is she had an immigrant upbringing, which obviously helped her a lot, build a lot of self-awareness, and then her academic journey fostered a lot of self-awareness. Also another thing for Indra was her self-awareness allowed her to be a likable and smart character, and her knowledge in finances made her originally the finance position at Pepsi, and then in the future she became the Pepsi CEO, and she really expanded Pepsi and was really successful CEO. This teaches me to be self-aware about my skills and what I need to work on, right? I know a lot of I feel like I am already a very self-aware person. I know what what I'm good at, what I'm bad at, and she also knew what she's good at and bad at, and she embraced that, and that led her to climb up the ranks and become successful. Next up is risk tolerance, and it's my boy Andrew Tate. So a little about Andrew Tate. He's the owner of Hustler University and the New World. Big social media presence, kickboxing world champion, grew up in the hood in England, son of Emery Tate, the chess grandmaster. So this video says, maybe it's the gambler in me, but I love taking risks. Andrew Tate, I'll show you the video now.
I'm learning that you're hard to kill. I think a lot of men forget this. Like, okay, you don't want to make the wrong enemies, but oftentimes people are afraid to do things because they're worried about the massive downside of failure, right? Especially young guys. I don't know about you, but I get this all the time with young guys going, I want to try this, that. I'm like, young is the time to try.
Yeah.
I'm going to try when you're fucking old. You got mortgage and kids and shit. Try now. What's the worst? You're going to go broke. So, like, a lot of people are far too risk adverse. I don't understand why. Me personally, maybe it's the gambler in me, but I love risk.
You heard it here first, folks. Maybe it's a gambler in me, but I love risks. So, you can always return to the life you had, right? But you can't create wealth, success out of nowhere. You have to take risks, whether it be your time or whatever. And this is a really big philosophy I live by. Like, let's say I'm 25. I can always just, return to the life. Like, I'm not a stupid person, right? I can always acquire a decent education and get a decent job. But to make it big, like, when am I supposed to do that? When I'm 60? No, like Andrew Tate says, I'm young right now. This is a perfect time to take risks. I'm not saying you don't take risks when you're older, but like, especially as a young man, it's my duty to take risks to accomplish what I want. So, a little connections. He grew up poor, which taught him how to take risks. And obviously, as a fighter, you're already naturally inclined to take risks. And then he took risks in his business by paying affiliates, which paid off as it led to his fame and people buying his course and his other endeavors. I mean, with that following, you could literally do anything and make a lot of money. I relate to this a lot as I'm also a gambler and I love taking big risks. So I'm inspired to gamble more. And really, it's not gambling. It's investing if you think of it. If you use the stats and do the right, right risks percentage, you could argue it's investing and not gambling. And that's not the only thing, If a business endeavor comes my way, I'll take the risk of putting money in, putting my time in, rather than just having that old school mindset. Now we'll go Ferrucchi Lamborghini. So a little bit about him: was rejected by Ferrari, so made a sports car brand. Was originally making tractor with his Lamborghini company, switched to Ford sports car. Italian, lived 1916 to 1993, and he's also a visionary. So a little about him. he had a sorry. He had a family-run tractor industry, and this was during the decline of tractor industry. So that taught him about failure. He was also rejected by Ferrari, but he took the matter into his own hands and created Lamborghini, which I would argue to be a better company. And then this teaches me that failing doesn't make you better off than not trying. Think about that. I would expand on it, but there's not a lot of time. But I feel like the quote speaks for itself. Next up is Thomas Edison. For persistence, American invented light bulb, held over 1,000 patents, lived 1847 to 1931, and he's from Ohio. This video, okay, jokes aside, this is one of the best videos I've ever seen.
This kid couldn't speak. Everyone else in his peer group speaking all good. He couldn't speak. At age 7, everyone's reading and talking. He can't read. Slowing down so much, the teachers brought his parents in, man. He said, dude, the kid's gotta go, man. Parents brought him home, and he's like, man, what are we gonna do with this child of ours? Too bad. They put him to work. He got fired from every single job he ever tried. All this guy knows up until 21 years old is failure. He just gets up and keeps trying, fails. Gets up, keeps trying. Until one day he found out what he wanted, what inspired him. And he gave it everything he had, day in, day out, man. This guy tried something 1,093 times before it was successful. And why? That was what he wanted. How was it nourished? Failure. Everything failed in his life. So when it failed 1,000 times, it's like, well, f*** it, man. It's an average day. It always fails. I keep on going, but his invention got smarter and quicker. That failure made him more and more successful. It's getting closer and closer and closer. And finally, the light bulb lit. That was Thomas Edison, man. One of the greatest inventors of our time. We all fall down in life, guys. The question is, who gets back up?
I'm not even going to bother explaining the quote. It speaks for itself, honestly. It's generally one of the best quotes I've seen. And also, in the connections section, it explains a lot. As he grew up with failure, which taught him to be a very persistent person. Instead of just giving up, he persisted through the failure. He failed light bulb 1,000 times, and the light bulb finally lit. And then also he failed 1,000. This shows me to continue believing in yourself, no matter what anybody says or thinks, nor how many times you fail. Next up is innovative thinking. Steve Jobs. He lived from 1955 to 2011. Invented Apple. American. Steve Jobs connections, tech-savvy dad, which led to his tech-savvy nature, highly educated. He created Apple 1 and 2 computers, which revolutionized the industry. And then also plus his phone's in the future. This tells me to use knowledge and technology to my advantage, especially in this day and age. So this could be ChatGPT. Just saying. I didn't use ChatGPT in this project, but just saying. That's pretty important to know. Or like learning how to graphic design could be a very interesting and useful skill. Or photography, just honestly, tech is the future and you should learn it. Long-term focus, Warren Buffett. So you cannot argue to me that there's anyone better than Warren Buffett for this trait. He's 93 years old, American, most successful investor of all time, CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. So for the longest time, he was the second richest person in the world. After all this manipulation happened, like Elon Musk, I'm sorry to say it, but I still view him as top 3 richest people in the world. Because Elon Musk, yeah, he has more money, 200 million, but does he though? If he were, is Tesla really worth that much, or is it inflated prices? I'm just saying. But anyways, because unlike Warren Buffett, who invests in only trustable companies, and he doesn't do scandals. Okay, I'm going off topic. My fault. So his father installed a humble mindset and value for money for him. He's a young entrepreneur. I know he used to do newspaper delivery. He has various long-term stock investments such as Coca-Cola and American Express. He turned a struggling textile company, Berkshire Hathaway, into a success, and then eventually into a billion-dollar investing corporation. And unlike other corporations, which is why I like him so much, like mutual funds and stuff, he doesn't Like, he doesn't make his money from just getting money from people. He makes his money from investing, you know? Mutual funds, all these companies say, oh, we're the best in investing. We have the most educated people. Yeah. But, like, at the end of the day, they're charging you to invest. Warren Buffett is so confident in his investing skills that he doesn't need to charge. And, you know, going from nothing to a billionaire just from investing is honestly mind-blowing to me. Yeah, he made a couple million, maybe even $1 billion from Berkshire Hathaway, but like most of his money really came from just investing. He got into Coca-Cola early, he got into American Express early. Just the fact that he can recognize these companies early on, and it's not like one company, you know? Like, I believe if he had $0 right now, in 10 years, he could become a billionaire again with the same knowledge and skill set. That's just the type of guy he is. You know, he looks at companies, looks at their long-term model and makes the investment, which is crazy to me. And this teaches me not to get caught up in money-making fast schemes such as gambling, even though, like, it could work, but, like, gambling, crypto, all this stuff, I'm not saying it can't work, but, like, at this end of the day, these are just, like, like, if it does work, a lot of it is just luck. So, instead, use basic fundamentals and hard work to pave my path and not get caught up in the I need to get rich scheme. Instead, I should get caught up in the I need to learn scheme. And that's what Warren Buffett did, and led to success. Okay, thank you. Muchas gracias, afición.